Greetings, YouTube. One Pei-Yuti and his wife, Lotu, attempted to go to the Asian Garden restaurant in Anchorage, Alaska recently. I say attempted because the couple was turned away at the door. Specifically, the husband, Pei, which was told that he would not be allowed in. The reason? Pei is Samoan, born and raised in Hawaii. 6 foot tall, 300 pounds, an imposing man. But he was told that he wouldn't be allowed in, not because he's a big guy, but because he is a Pacific Islander. Why wouldn't he be let in because he's a Pacific Islander? Because the proprietor, one Faye Harding, cannot tell Pacific Islanders apart. Stop for a second and think about that statement. Nope, those Pacific Islanders can't tell them apart, not for a lick. If Arizona's governor had not signed the reprehensible law into power last Friday, I would have said that this news item would have been the most reprehensible bit of blatant racial profiling that I'd seen recently. But apparently, there's a spat of this going on in the United States. I mean, this man was born and raised in Hawaii, attempting to get into a restaurant in Alaska, same country, and told that he can't get into the door because he looks like all the other Pacific Islanders. And somehow, this woman doesn't think that's a problem. Well, there's a problem. There's a lawsuit. Are you surprised in any way? Now, she did have a problem in the past, an issue with a confrontation between a couple of Pacific Islanders in her establishment, and a fight broke out. I believe there was a stabbing involved. And she is justifiably upset and wants to keep this kind of thing from happening again. That's why you hire a bouncer. You don't just get to say, everyone that looks just like the person that committed this crime is barred from entering. Now, I imagine that of all the problems she's had in the past, a lot of them were caused by white people because, you know, America, even Alaska, is full of them. But I bet she's not going to stop all white people from entering her bar. Nope, this is only aimed at Pacific Islanders because a couple of them caused a problem to her in her place in the past. Bouncers know how to handle this kind of thing. It's what they're paid to do. You keep an eye on things. If you really want to, you institute a no weapons policy. It's not that difficult to do. Now, I realize that people can still sneak things in, or heck, pick a steak knife off the table. But the reality is that you don't just make blanket statements that all you people that look the same don't get to come into my establishment. That right there is racial profiling. That right there is an act of bigotry. Yes, I know, people are going to say I'm using that word very freely here, but I'm thinking that when you make a statement that all Pacific Islanders look the same, you are committing an act of bigotry. I think I'm on pretty safe ground there, pretty firm terra, if you will. It's not really surprising that this is happening. Racism and these kind of issues is rampant all across America. I recently had someone tell me that they didn't think that racism was this prevalent in America. Well, it is. It's everywhere. In every state, amongst every racial group, I have encountered racism amongst people from every country I have ever met. I have met a racist from there. It's kind of sad, but it's true. Brown people racist against yellow people racist against brown people and white people. Black people racist against any color you can imagine, and white people racist against everybody under the sun because they aren't white. And of course, then you can throw in the religious element, and then you've got a whole new dimension. But this particular case here in Anchorage is just particularly egregious to me, because a couple just wanted to go sing some karaoke and hang out with their friends. That's it. And they couldn't. Because a bigoted woman running a restaurant decided that she can't tell apart people from another part of the world, and so it's okay to discriminate against them. I hope she gets sued. I hope she loses everything, because she doesn't deserve to be the proprietor of an establishment that's open to the public if you aren't going to let the public in. If you want to have a private club, I guess, go for it. And you can be as discriminatory as you want, just like the golf clubs that keep out Jews and blacks. And when you have a public restaurant and the public is welcome into your door, well, then you have to let the public into your door. All of them, regardless of how rowdy some of the members of their social groups may have been in the past. You don't get to be a discriminator. You don't get to be a racist. You don't get to be a bigot. At least not stay in business.